Osho's dance or dynamic meditation is often presented as a liberating alternative to traditional spiritual discipline, but when examined critically, it reveals deeper problems that go beyond mere lack of scriptural authority. The central issue is not simply that it departs from classical methods, but that it replaces a precise and time-tested inner science with something vague, emotionally driven, and highly susceptible to self-deception. Practices that aim at something as specific as the union of Apana and Prāṇa are not casual or expressive in nature. They are exacting processes that depend on controlled breath, internal awareness, and disciplined stillness. When these elements are replaced by chaotic movement and emotional catharsis, the practitioner may feel intense experiences, but intensity should not be confused with authenticity. The danger in such a method lies in its psychological effects. Vigorous movement, erratic breathing, and heightened emotional release can easily produce altered states of consciousness. These states may feel profound, even transformative, but they often arise from overstimulation of the nervous system rather than any genuine alignment of subtle energies. Without a clear framework to interpret these experiences, a practitioner can begin to mistake emotional highs or bodily sensations for spiritual progress. This is where self-deception quietly takes root. One may believe that something deep and yogic is occurring, while in reality the experience remains confined to the surface layers of mind and body. Over time, this can create a false sense of advancement, making it even harder to recognize the absence of real inner transformation. In classical yogic understanding, the union of Apana and Prāṇa is neither accidental nor theatrical. It is described as a subtle internal convergence brought about through sustained discipline, often involving breath retention, focused awareness, and the stabilization of bodily energies. The process is inward, silent, and refined. It does not depend on outward expression or dramatic release. Because of this, methods that emphasize external movement and emotional discharge stand in sharp contrast to the very conditions required for such a union. At best, they may prepare the body by releasing tension, but they do not themselves constitute the path to that union. At worst, they distract from it entirely by keeping attention fixed on sensation and experience rather than on subtle awareness. In contrast, devotion to Goddess Shakti offers a radically different approach that avoids these pitfalls. Instead of attempting to engineer internal states through technique, devotion shifts the focus to surrender. The practitioner does not claim control over the movement of energies, but entrusts the entire process to a higher principle. This removes the ego's tendency to interpret, measure, and prematurely conclude progress. In devotion, there is no need to chase experiences or validate them. What matters is the depth of sincerity and the continuity of remembrance. Because of this, the risk of self-deception is significantly reduced. Paradoxically, it is within this very absence of striving that deeper transformations are said to occur. When the mind is no longer preoccupied with achieving a specific energetic outcome, it becomes more receptive. In many Shakti-oriented traditions, the union of Apana and Prāṇa is understood not as a product of effort, but as a natural consequence of inner alignment brought about by grace. The devotee does not demand that this union happen, nor do they measure their spiritual state by its presence or absence. Whether it arises or not becomes secondary, and in that very freedom from expectation, the conditions for genuine transformation are allowed to unfold without distortion. Seen in this way, Osho's dance meditation risks leading practitioners into a cycle of stimulation, interpretation, and self-confirmation, where experiences are mistaken for realization. It offers movement instead of stillness, intensity instead of precision, and expression instead of inward refinement. Devotion to Shakti, by contrast, removes the burden of self-direction and replaces it with surrender, creating a path that is quieter, less dramatic, but ultimately more aligned with the depth and subtlety required for true inner union.